Hi, this is Chloe, and now I have a stepper motor that moves along a certain range of motion with the photoresistor attached to it to find like the greatest light value for that range. So here, if we press this button, it'll start on a 180-degree range. The only flashlight I have is on my phone, so I'm using these string lights. So hopefully that'll actually give an accurate read, but we'll see. And then press it one more time or two more times, holding the light at different angles. And one more time. The vibration of the stepper motor kind of makes it rotate on the table, so these also might not be the most accurate, but there it's given us those 3 reads with the brightest measured value at each angle that it read from. You can see the 3 before that were from when I tested this with my actual phone flashlight and was able to hold the motor still, so those are the most accurate. But here's the code. Basically reads the light value and iterates through every step from 0 to 180 angles, which is 1024 steps on the motor, and then measures which angle had the brightest value, converts it into 180 degrees, and using this function to move it, which will move it based on the current angle and the new angle that it's set to go to, which will keep it basically knowing what angle it's at out of 180 instead of just being at a random angle. Okay, now I'm in complete darkness because that's the only way I could get this to work with my very low brightness string lights, but now I changed it so that when you press the button it'll do the sweep and find the brightest spot again, and then it'll move back to that spot and track the light moving left or right based on which side is brighter. So I'm using 2 photoresistors now. Here's that circuit. If I press this button, it'll start off. I'll put the light here. So it does this sweep. And then when it's done with the sweep, it moves back to that position, and it'll continue moving this way if that's that direction, and it'll continue moving this way if it's on that side. And after 10 seconds of that, it moves back to 0. So here's that code. Basically, all I changed was averaging the reads from the 2 photoresistors to find the brightest spot. So whichever spot they had the average brightest read is the angle that it moves to after it's done scanning. And then I have it move to that angle, start the timer, and keep track of the change in time. And then if one sensor is brighter than the other, it'll move in the direction of that sensor. And if the other sensor is brighter than the other, it'll move in the direction of that sensor. And then at the end, it just moves back to 0. And that's it.